Milan, how they would love to play Crotone every week between now and the end of the season. I think you can pretty much crown them champions now. As it stands, though, they're, of course, 2 points clear of Inter. Juve find themselves 7 points behind, but, of course, they do have that game in hand. Let's welcome to the show, then, shall we? Gab Marcotti and Matteo Bonetti. Gab, from a Milan perspective, what do you take away from today's game?
Well, you take away that Zlatan is really, really good, and you take away, I think you take away a big win. But I think you're also cognizant of the fact that, for those, I imagine a lot of people don't follow Crotone very closely. All season long, they've been known as an open attacking side. They didn't lose this game because they were open and attacking. They lost this game because, apart from the first goal, where maybe it was pinpoint passing, the rest, as Shaka just pointed out, was just atrocious individual errors defensively. And so I don't think you necessarily want to get high and mighty. You take the 3 points and you move on.
It's extraordinary. When you take a look at his stats, Matteo, they're not bad at all, are they?
No, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, it's like he never ages, really. He hasn't lost a step, which is crazy to say, given that he's about to turn 40. But no matter where he's gone, Dan, and you could point maybe to that one season he had at Barcelona as the one time it really didn't work out for Zlatan Ibrahimovic, even though he scored there as well. But he has done it in every single league, whether it's been France. He's scored in Manchester United despite the injuries. He's gone to MLS and scored more than 30 goals in a season. And now everyone thinking, okay, well, this is the twilight of his career. He's done. He goes to Milan, he leads them to first place, and he scores even better than a goal a game. I think just last week it was like a goal every 70 minutes in this campaign, and that's with all the penalty misses as well. He is... it's hard to think of a player that means more to a team, and I know that they've won without him, but look at the difference before Zlatan and after Zlatan. It's like I'm looking at two completely different sides. It's really hard to measure just the impact that this guy has had behind the scenes and, of course, on the pitch.
As is tradition on a Sunday, let's take a look at the odds, shall we, to win the title. Milan, third favourites at 3-1. Inter Milan, 5-4 on. Juventus, 11-4. Let's talk about Milan's title chances. If Zlatan keeps putting in these sort of performance, Gab, there's no reason why he can't push those other two all the way, is there?
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't want to talk like a broken record here, but... Matteo alluded to it and then kind of glossed over it. Milan actually were really impressive without Zlatan too. I think what's critical is you need this Zlatan. In other words, the Zlatan who's happy to play center forward, who's not going to try to do too much, who's going to make his quality and his physicality count. And if you have that in place and things go your way, you have a shot at the title. Obviously, a lot of people are going to point towards Inter simply because they could get knocked out of the Coppa Italia on Tuesday night. And if that happens, then Conte is going to have plenty of time to prepare for every single game. And so I think a lot of people are still favoring Inter in that context. I think from Milan's perspective, they just have to keep believing, and I think they can still turn it up another notch, with Benacer fit, with Theo fit, with the other quality players they have around Zlatan, and just leave Zlatan to score the goals and to finish and maybe not take the penalties, and you're okay with that. The single biggest danger could be, and Pioli after the game came out and said, Zlatan needs to stay another season. I thought that maybe wasn't necessarily the sharpest thing to do, because you don't want is some sort of big contract discussion or something that ends up distracting from the team or distracting from Zlatan.
Gab, you mentioned all the positive attributes, what he has to do to remain number 9, to play in that role. What does he do wrong in that situation that frustrates you and where you feel that he can be exposed?
We're talking about Zlatan. No, I don't think he's done, other than missing the penalties, and obviously, you had certain times when he kind of lost it a little bit. I'm thinking of the Lukaku incident in the Coppa Italia and then getting sent off. Other than that, Zlatan has been pretty much perfect. I think what's critical, though, is what we saw Zlatan when he first joined Milan. That was a team in disarray. We saw Zlatan there trying to do too much, trying to carry the team. You can argue it's because the team needed it, but you're only going to go so far if you have a guy who tries to do everything. You can't expect somebody to do this every single week. Nobody in the world, not even Messi and Cristiano, do it every single week carrying a team. You have to agree to be a cog in a machine. And to Zlatan's credit, that's what he did this season before he got injured and since he's been back as well, where, to preserve himself as well, he says, all right, you guys get me the ball. I'm going to be up front. I'll take free kicks and take responsibility, but I'm not going to do the thing where I retreat into midfield and then start whipping passes around, or where I shoot from 30 yards out just because I'm Zlatan, because we're not scoring. Milan doesn't need him to do that, and they're a better side when he doesn't do that, when he simply plays center forward, ties up the defenders, and finishes what comes to him.
ESPN on YouTube, and for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app, and for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.